Hello everyone and welcome to the third day of the 6-week Affiliate Mastery Challenge. So to continue with the theme for this week, I'll be going over more introductory stuff. So today I'm going to go over verticals and offers and appropriate traffic sources for different verticals and offers and how to pick offers. So this is the kind of stuff that all experienced affiliates know but is never really directly told to you when you're a new affiliate. So hopefully this will help out a lot of you newer guys to demystify the process that you go through when you're first figuring out what offers to run, how to launch campaigns, how to communicate with your AM, and so on. So to start off, what is a vertical? So the term itself comes from vertical and horizontal markets, and it's almost used as jargon or as slang in the affiliate marketing industry, and I don't think many people actually really look up the definition. So you guys can Google that. I'm just kidding, I Googled it for you. So here it is, and I'll get out of your way for a moment, and you can just pause the video and read that. So basically, a vertical defines sort of a specialized niche, I guess, of goods, products, and services. So the best way to define this is really give you examples. So a vertical market provider might be someone like IKEA who sells just furniture. They serve a vertical market, people's interested in furniture, basically. So you would consider furniture the vertical that IKEA works in if we're talking about this from an affiliate marketing sort of point of view. Similarly, Mercedes, that you might consider that the car vertical, Firestone, the tyres vertical, and so on. And then you get horizontal market providers, and these are vendors that basically serve a broad user base or provide a broad range of products and services to a wide sort of user base. In the affiliate marketing industry, we don't really deal with horizontal market providers so much because typically we're not just trying to sell a lot of different stuff, we're trying to sell a very specific product or service to a specific audience. So what kind of verticals do we have in the affiliate marketing industry? There's a ton of them. They're not specifically defined. I guess it's more colloquial even. People just seem to define these so-called verticals amongst themselves, and every once in a while certain offers or types of offers expand and grow in the industry and start making a new vertical or a more specific vertical. So to give you a list of those, you have various quite common ones like gaming, financial services, gambling and betting, and all those kinds of things. Quite large verticals include diet and skincare and fitness, muscle supplementation, all that kind of stuff. Dating is a huge vertical as well. Then you have various others like software and services, digital and physical products, retail products like actually selling physical products from retail stores or selling things from Amazon, eBay, and so on. Business opportunities or BizOps, so the make money online vertical. Similarly, you have foreign exchange products or Forex stuff like information products on how to manipulate and trade on the stock market to make money. And then of course adult, which is also a huge vertical, which encompasses various types of offers which we won't get into. So when you first start out in affiliate marketing, one question which comes up, or one thing which would be at the back of your mind is what to focus on. Where do you even start? What do you even do? And one of the key things to do is to pick something. So when you first start out, it's quite important that you don't spread yourself over many traffic sources and at the same time many different verticals. The more you do that, the more likely you are to basically spend money and not truly learn anything. In terms of what verticals and traffic sources to focus on, it's sensible to pick a few things and then focus on them and work at them until you master them. Within reason. If something's not working and you spend 6 months on it and it just is not making you any money, then it's probably time to move on. But in general, it pays to focus on something quite strongly and really put a lot of time and effort into mastering whatever it is that you pick. So don't get shiny object syndrome. That's another thing. So don't jump from one vertical to another. You'll see that the obvious theme here that I keep repeating is to focus on something. So don't get shiny object syndrome. Don't jump into one vertical or one sort of offer type and then see some other offer type or vertical or traffic source is apparently doing amazingly, and you see other people talking about it, and you see your affiliate managers recommending it. Don't jump from one thing to the other over and over and over again. If you can look back at the last few months of what you've been doing and find that you've jumped from one traffic source to another or one vertical to another more than a couple of times, then you've got shiny object syndrome, and you're either being lured to greener pastures, or apparently greener pastures, or you're finding that what you're doing isn't working and you're jumping because of that. But the chances are it's not working, not because the vertical or the traffic source is not good enough, but rather your strategy is wrong or you're not focusing enough. So don't do that. Right, so offer types. This is different to vertical, so it's rather vague, I'm sure. What kind of types can we even be talking about? So in this case, I mean several things. Firstly, there's the type of the product or service that people are specifically getting. So when you get paid for a lead or you get your commission, what has that person actually received in order for you to get that commission? So it can be various things like a download of some sort of PC software. Could be an app install, so on iOS or Android or Windows Phone, or even BlackBerry. Could be a physical product, could be a digital product, so an information product, and so on. And then the other sort of offer type or category that we can define is the conversion flow or the back end. So people will talk about SOI offers, DOI offers, and they're not really different offer types, like how a physical product and a digital product is different. It's more about what the user has to do in order to get to that end point. And this is essentially the conversion flow, which happens on the back end. When we say back end, we mean what goes on behind or after the parts that you control. So you could have short or long form lead generation where people have to fill out a form. Could be 3 fields, could be 20. Single opt-in or SOI, and double opt-in, DOI. So single opt-in is just basically they submit an email and click OK, and that's their opt-in, that's your conversion point. Pin submits, so you have no doubt seen these, but these are based on, well, for the most part, on carrier billing practices. So these are mobile type offers where you get to some landing page and you can click OK, enter some details, and you get a pin sent to your phone, which you then have to enter in order to convert. So hence the term pin submit. And this is part of the mobile subscription sort of offer type. And then you get rebilling payment models. So anything where the user is billed monthly or weekly or whatever after conversion, we call this a rebill. And rebills generally have a bad name or are not thought of so fondly by consumers for various reasons. Technically, most of them aren't illegal in what they do, but quite often they are not deceptive, but they'll use things like negative response, negative response marketing or negative response something or other, where a lack of response from the user is considered a go-ahead to charge them. So they'll use fine print saying, after 7 days you'll be billed at this, and then they'll bill the user some exorbitant amount, and the users get unhappy, but they actually filled out the forms, signed everything, but didn't read the fine print. And you get the same kind of thing with $1 trial. So this is just a different conversion flow that you may have on the back end of the offer. So not all offer types are congruent with or appropriate for various traffic sources for a number of reasons. It could be that the actual traffic source itself and the users that are there aren't really that appropriate for what you're trying to provide or for what you're trying to sell. So there's that question again of user intent. what is the user there for, and what is their goal of being on that traffic source, if they have one. What is their mindset? And depending on that and what they're interested in, their user attributes and characteristics, even their connectivity, their geographic location, that will have an influence on what kind of offers you can even run. So, for example, if you had a gaming offer, which is a 10 gigabyte client download, and they don't care where you provide users from, it's global, it would probably be a bit silly to run this in a place like Burma, where 10 gigabytes might take them 6 weeks to actually download. So there's the question there of whether the offer and the vertical is even relevant to the users that you are targeting. And then there's the other side of things. There's the traffic costs. So if it's very, very expensive traffic, you're not going to have a fun time running an offer with very, very low payouts. So, for example, $1 double opt-in offers, whatever offer it may be, being run on search traffic in the United States, might be struggle street when your clicks are costing between 50 cents and $5, and you get $1 if someone converts. Conversion requirements and user expectations. So you have to match things. If you have an offer that has 20 forms in it, and it's a mobile offer, then that alone isn't really a great combination, because someone's on a mobile device, filling out forms isn't really that fun on a smartphone, which I'm sure you're all aware of. So 20 form fields for that kind of offer isn't necessarily the best tailoring of the offer for your audience and for the situation that they are in. And then lastly, you get things like compliance and regulation. So all traffic sources will have their own terms and conditions for advertising on them, and various traffic sources will frown upon certain offer types and will frown upon certain verticals for various reasons. They may care about their publishers, who have certain sites that are authoritative, get a lot of volume, and they care about brand sensitivity. So Coca-Cola, for example, doesn't want explicit pornographic ads on their site. Similarly, they might not want ads about home insurance on their site for whatever reason. Some sort of site in a specific industry, like in a legal industry, might not want anything related to financial services on their sites for legal reasons. So there's the issue there of various advertisers and even the publishers, various traffic sources and even the publishers that they serve, in terms of what they will even allow you to run. And this is why you have approval of campaigns and ads, so that they can actually say yes or no when you submit these. And then they have their prohibited advertisements that they'll just outright completely deny almost automatically. And various traffic sources care a lot about the experience of their users. Facebook is a very, very good example. So certain types of offers and verticals or categories of offers are just blanket disallowed for various reasons, one of them being that users generally don't like them, so they don't want to mar the experience of their users by letting you run that at any point in time. So what is appropriate? Well, let's talk about some of the various genres of offers out there. So health, wealth, and entertainment, that is kind of like the power three in terms of verticals. So health, wealth, and entertainment is kind of like universally applicable to everyone. So by health, we mean things like dieting and fitness and supplementation and meditation, spirituality, all those kinds of things, which all generally relate to human health and being healthier. Wealth, obviously making money, being superior socially to people, and entertainment, actually being entertained and having fun. These are kind of like three fundamental human wants. So any offers that appeal to these in the broad sense can generally be run on almost any traffic source. If it's some offer that posits to make people be able to lose weight, or make them earn more money, or give them some extremely good time, or give them some funny video to watch. If it appeals to one of these universal types of things, it doesn't really matter what traffic source it is. If there's humans on the other end, then generally you can possibly run that kind of offer there. But certain types of certain traffic sources will make it more difficult to run these kinds of offers compliantly. So, for example, offers related to dieting and skincare and weight loss and those kinds of things are often quite difficult to run on Facebook for a number of reasons. And even on Google search, there are certain sort of not terms and conditions, but regulations there in which they require certain things from you as an advertiser, which make it not so easy to just run those types of offers with very little strategy behind what you're doing. So games, more of a speciality of mine, an area I focus on. So games fit into the entertainment category, so they have universal appeal. Almost everyone is interested in games in some way or another, especially mobile games at the moment. So female gamers actually make up the majority of the market now. So when we talk about games, we're not just talking about first-person shooters and console games and things, which is traditionally a male-dominated market. Now you have so much mobile penetration into almost every country on the planet that Candy Crush fits into this category, and it's absolutely huge. You can say what you want about Candy Crush, but you certainly can't. Their revenues are nothing to sneeze at. So games, entertainment, almost everyone's interested in not being bored, so you can run them almost anywhere. There's many other factors you have to take into account, but they're also a very safe vertical and offer type. So most games you can run compliantly and very readily on almost every traffic source out there without too much hassle. So high ticket products, things that are quite expensive, so retail and physical products, financial services, anything where someone has to whip out a credit card and buy something. Now when that happens, when they have to get out a credit card, you now have a huge barrier to conversion. So obviously people don't really want to buy things. Like, it's not human desire, I suppose, when you're on the internet to plug in your credit card numbers on every site that you come across. So high barrier to entry there. You really need to match this with user intent. So if you want to sell something that's $50, I guess there's two ways to do it. You could throw a lot of very, very cheap traffic at that product and hope that someone converts, but it's generally not the best way to go about it. A better way to go about it is to find people who have that intent to actually purchase that product, and search is arguably the best traffic source for this kind of thing due to the very contextual nature of it and how much user intent you can get out from targeting the right keywords. So for an expensive retail product, you wouldn't, for example, so really run it on mobile display banners, because the user intent to purchase a $100 purse or $85 hoodie or something like that when you're browsing a mobile app and playing a game isn't that high. So you really have to match up that user intent. Email can work very, very well as well, because depending on the user base that you're serving, the people that have subscribed and your mailing list and their relationship with you, they may have very high intent for certain types of products or services that you can then sell to them. So downloads. By downloads I mean not games and apps and things that you actually download, but this specific offer type where you get a sort of random page and you have to click a button and actually download some little piece of software that you then install. It might be a toolbar, or it might be some sort of gaming portal which then installs other games and things. They're quite obvious when you actually see them. These are interesting types of offers. I've never really been that interested in running them. I prefer to do actual downloadable things like games that people want to play. But these often have low conversion rates and revenues per lead. So typically you'd run these on quite cheap traffic sources like pops and redirects and some media buys where you can get very, very cheap impressions. And it comes down to this user intent kind of thing again, and traffic costs. So in these cases, you may trade traffic quality for price in order to be able to push more volume to a lower conversion or a lower converting offer at a cheaper rate to see if you can actually be profitable. You wouldn't throw search traffic really at a download offer like this, because most people aren't looking to download toolbars. So mobile content offers and pin submits. Mobile content subscriptions are these ones where you submit your user information or your phone number, and then you submit a pin. Whatever you do, whatever the conversion flow is, you then end up getting some sort of products or services on a daily or weekly basis afterwards. So you might get text, various jokes, you might get various pieces of content, you might get ringtones, wallpapers, videos, pictures, whatever it is. It's some sort of subscription to mobile content. These kinds of things generally run on cheaper traffic sources like mobile display, mobile pops and redirects. Again, if they don't convert that well and the user intent isn't really there, you have to balance the cost associated with the traffic with that intent. And these mobile subscription services, they're not deceptive. Again, fine print. If you don't read it correctly, then it's your problem. The thing is, these can provide quite a negative user experience to a lot of people. So trying to run them on platforms like Facebook and Google and native advertising platforms where the traffic source cares more about the user experience, you'll find things a bit more difficult. So business products. There's various business-to-business products out there that you can advertise. You usually wouldn't find these in typical affiliate networks, or at least they wouldn't be as common. But if you're trying to advertise a product to another business, there's various traffic sources that you can use. LinkedIn is quite an obvious one. If you want to advertise something very, very relevant to the real estate industry, then you can go on LinkedIn and you can specifically advertise to people who work at real estate companies. Similarly with Facebook, there is a bit of targeting related to industry and employment and job titles, but it's not as accurate, and people who are on Facebook, so a business person on Facebook, again, think about their intent and what they're even doing. If they're on Facebook, it's probably either the middle of the workday and they're on break and they're skiving off, or they're at home, and when you're at home you might not really be so interested in business stuff. When they're browsing Facebook, they're not looking for a business-to-business product offering. So to bring up the real estate agency again, say if you're a realtor and you're an insurance company that can offer insurance deals to new homeowners, and so realtors are one of your clients in terms of referrals. A realtor who gets home and is working in the middle of the day or eating dinner, browsing Facebook, looking at what their friends are doing, their mindset is not so much on the job. So when you present them an ad related to home insurance for their new prospects, they may or may not be interested. It's something to test, but again, the user intent is not necessarily matching up with the offer that you're trying to run. Google, of course, search, highly contextual, so there's always going to be high intent there for business-to-business related products. And of course, email. If you have an email list that's very, very relevant to the business product, then of course it's a sensible medium to use in order to try and pitch that product to people. So, how to pick an offer. What on earth do we do? You're joined into various networks and you want to know what to run. What do you do? Where do you go? How do you start? So, the first thing to do is to log into different networks and have a gander at all the offers lying around, see the fact that there's thousands of them, and be completely flummoxed by that. This is a good starting point. It shouldn't be easy to just walk in there and pick an offer and know which offer is the best to run. That's not how it works, and affiliate networks are generally pretty terrible at cleaning up their offer base. So of those thousands of offers, half of them may be inactive now. the remaining 3/4 aren't working very well and haven't had a conversion in a month. So you're kind of running blind. So generally the country that the advertiser permits will be in the brackets around the offer name. So if you go explore any of these networks, you'll see so-and-so offer name, and then in brackets certain country codes. If you don't know what those codes mean, just look up 2-letter ISO country codes and you'll be able to find that out. Otherwise, you'll need to click on the offer and actually look at its terms and conditions to see what kind of what countries specifically you can run there. And when we say what countries you can run, it means these are the countries that the advertiser is looking for leads from, and they're the only ones that they will pay for. So if you have an offer that's for the US only, if you send people from Canada and they convert, generally you won't get paid for that because that's not what the advertiser asked for, and that's completely fair. And this is generally based on the user IP address. So if whatever their IP address is for their computer, that says they're in this country or that country based on some sort of database that everyone references. Rarely are these offers global, so sometimes you will find global offers, sometimes you'll find ones that are global but excluding 18 countries. Again, typically advertisers want users from a certain country, or they'll want users from a certain region where they all speak the same language, or a various group of countries where they all speak the same language. So say the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. That might be a very typical geographic set that the advertiser wants leads from. Or it may be leads from the same sort of geographic region. So you might get an offer which is mainly targeted at Scandinavia. This might be because of the high English adoption rate there, so the offer's actually in English and they just want users from there because of the relatively high affluence of these countries. Or you might get an offer which provides localized pages for various countries and thereafter leads from Germany and France and Belgium and Luxembourg and Switzerland and so on. So more the sort of Western European bloc. So once we get into the affiliate network and we look at offers, where do we go from there? The first thing I think you should do is forget about picking a specific offer. The first thing you should do is identify what you want to focus on. So this is coming back to that word focus, which I've repeated unto death since the beginning of this video. So my question to you is, what vertical most interests you? For me, it's gaming. I like games, I play games, I understand games, very good with the design aspects of games, and I'm readily able to look at games and have a good idea about what kind of audience would be interested in that type of game. So pick a vertical that most interests you. Pick a few verticals that interest you. Just don't pick everything. And then are there any verticals that you have a passion for? So do you have any hobbies that you're interested in that actually align with a vertical which would make you enjoy selling them more? So don't fall into this trap that because you know a lot about a vertical, so for me, gaming, for example, because I know a lot about gaming, that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to make gaming work, or that it's the best vertical for me to pick, the one that I will be the most successful at because I know the most about it. That knowledge does not sort of privilege you to success in that vertical. That's not at all how it works. So I might find my best successes running something completely different, like financial services, even though I couldn't care less about financial services. It just turns out that I'm better at running those types of offers. So do pick something that you're passionate about if it's available, because it'll make it easier for you to actually come up with angles, be more passionate about selling that to people. You can get better at writing, doing copywriting for that kind of product or service. But again, don't fall into the trap that you are going to be guaranteed success in that vertical just because of that. So on the other side of the coin, pick what verticals you don't want to be involved in. So it's understandable if people don't want to be involved in, for example, the adult industry, as big as a vertical as it is, as much revenue that's sort of being thrown around in there. The traffic sources are easy to get into. As many advantages as there are, a lot of people might just not be comfortable with the explicit nature of the ads involved and various things, and that's completely fine. Completely eliminate it. Similarly, gaming, you might hate games, you might not play them at all, and you find them completely uninteresting, so eliminate games from your list of verticals that you might want to actually be involved in. The point here is to actually make it easier for you to pick something to focus on. So on that note, there's quite a few verticals that people think are shady. No vertical, I think, is inherently shady. It's just that some offers within those verticals can, to varying extents, be kind of deceptive. And I won't, sort of name any offers or verticals and things, but sometimes you also get rogue, not so credible advertisers that come into markets and actually enhance this feeling of the affiliate marketing industry being really deceptive and shady. But this is not the case at all. And you, as a marketer, at some point you're going to draw a line in the sand. So at some point you need to say, I don't want to do this. This is not the kind of thing that I'm comfortable with, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone will draw that line somewhere. So with that out of the way, let's get on to the general process about how you would actually pick an offer after you've focused on specific verticals, after you've thought about various things that have already been over. So step one, don't make assumptions. So don't assume which offers are working better or worse than others. You don't know that. Even if you log into the network and you can see the earning per click values, so some sort of general gauge of offer performance values and some sort of sidebar, don't assume that you actually know which ones are working better than the others, because the EPC is something that you take with a grain of salt. Don't assume you know which countries are performing better. So if there's an offer that's available to be run in France, Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, don't just assume you know which market is doing better for any sort of reasons. The thing is, the data tells the truth, and in marketing, it's very data driven. So try to always get data to back up any assumptions that you make. You can make presumptions at certain points to make your life easier, but don't make these very, very wild assumptions like, France is going to be better than Germany for this specific offer because I said so. Step two, talk to your, one moment. Okay, so that is what happens when you're using a green screen and the lighting in the room slowly changes as the sun sets. So step two, talk to your affiliate manager and ask them what's currently working. So your affiliate managers will always be your first point of contact for figuring out what offers you're going to actually work with. So ask them for a list of the network's top converting offers. They will send these out to affiliates on a daily basis, so they'll know what you want. You can ask for these in a specific vertical as well. So conversely, if you're not interested in anything adult or anything related to mobile subscriptions or anything related to games, you can give them more criteria there. So say, can I have a spreadsheet of the top converting offers in these three verticals, and then wait for them to send that to you. If they don't get it to you within, say 12 hours, ping them again, because really it shouldn't take too much effort on their end, so they should be able to do it reasonably quickly. So they'll give you some sort of spreadsheet, rearrange it in Excel, use filters. So if you haven't used the filter tool, all you'll do is basically select the header, the first row of cells, and then go to, I can't show you right now, but actually I can. What the hell? Let's open Excel. So say you have something in here. You can select these and go to sort and filter, and then in here you can take certain options on and off. So you can use this to filter by, say categories or payouts or or various things based on what actually comes in that spreadsheet. So going back into this, yes, get that spreadsheet, have a look, and get used to working with these. So, and then ask your affiliate manager for advice. So if you're dealing with a specific traffic source, or you want to focus on a specific country or a very specific vertical, just ask them for advice. Say, hey Joe, I want to run some gaming offers on pops, pop-ups for example, or on mobile display. Can you recommend the top performing offers in the network at the moment for those traffic sources? Now, for various offers, they might not know whether they're getting traffic from those specific sources, but they can definitely give you some recommendations. And remember, they can see the entire back end. They can see what's working network-wide for their company, or for their platform. So definitely get them to weigh in on things. The other thing is to talk to other affiliates. So obviously you're all sort of playing the game together in a certain sense. So ask other affiliates for advice. If you ask them about a certain offer, if they're running it, they're probably not going to tell you what sources they're running it profitably on, because that would be quite anti-competitive to themselves. But they might tell you, this offer's working good, or it's working very well in France. And that kind of information tells you that that person is probably profitable with that offer in some campaign on some traffic source, and that's a good start. Step 3, analyze the offers. So never take an offer and just run it. You always should do your due diligence. So take their landing pages, the web pages that your affiliate links actually send you to, and actually load them and see what they look like. And if it's for a specific country, you should use a VPN service, which we'll discuss later, and or use this on a mobile device to actually check that landing page in situ, or how it would look for a real user going to it. Now, if you get this list of top performing offers as well, think of this like a puzzle and do some research. So look at all the top converting offers, look at their pages and think, what do they have in common? Is there anything similar about those landing pages that they do? Are they all wildly different? Do they all use the same kind of ad copy and images and page format? And then there's a lot you can glean from that in terms of what may work in that vertical. And then do some spying. So when we say spying, we mean looking around in the wild or on the internet to see if you actually see any ads for that product or service running. So this isn't that straightforward, I suppose. The first question you might have is where that offer might be run. So if it's some mobile gaming offer, where do you think you might see those ads? You might see them on a website when you're on a mobile device. You might see them in apps. So what you can do is basically visit various web properties and see what kind of ad you see. Keep refreshing and see if you actually see any ads related to that product or service at all. There's actually an easier way to do this, and that's using competitive intelligence tools, of which there are quite a few. So competitive intelligence basically means looking at data on what other ads are being run around the internet on various platforms, and looking at the ads that people are running, looking at what variations in ads specific advertisers are running, what pages those are going to, what offers those are going to. Basically, there's platforms that can help map out other people's campaigns, which is to our detriment, but helps with our success as well. So spying in itself is something you should use for research and intelligence, and importantly inspiration, but directly copying people is never ideal, because if you copy them, you're just copying the front end, you're just copying creative elements, which creative elements in themselves don't give any competitive advantage. So you might try to copy them and run the exact same campaign on the exact same traffic source with the exact same ads to the exact same offer, but little do you know they have a better tracking infrastructure than you. They have a direct deal with the advertiser and get paid 50% more per lead than you. They have a direct deal with the traffic source and pay a flat rate for a large amount of volume, so everything costs 30% less than it does for you. There's all these various things that you can't actually see, so it pays to take things and copy them for inspiration and then try and improve upon them and not rely on copying as your source of a profitable campaign, because it's never going to be a sustainable approach to things. So there's lots of competitive intelligence tools like AdBeat, What Runs Where, Box of Ads, Ad Clarity, and Moat. And I can show you a few of these. So Moat, for example, is a good platform just for looking at brand advertisements. So it's not ideal for looking at affiliate offers so much, but for example, Groupon is a reasonably large company which has done a lot of advertising, including an affiliate network. So if we just search for that, you can see it found almost 1,000 ads over these various Groupon ads here. So you can use this to look for basically branded advertisements. What Runs Where, or WRW, is more a competitive intelligence platform that's ideal for affiliate marketers. So this allows you to look at data on various campaigns that their platform has picked up or monitored, which they do constantly, and you can actually look at various sort of packages of data on those campaigns to learn about what other advertisers are doing. And virtually all of these platforms have free trials, so you can just look them up and have a look at how they work, should you want to do that. So my green screen's fading again, so I'll pause once more. So we can use these competitive intelligence tools to do a bit of research on the offers and to see what other advertisers are running, what types of ads they're using, and where they might actually be running these. The other thing is to look at the landing pages and various other tools. So there's various tools that can give you information about the domains and the pages themselves. So ones like SimilarWeb and Alexa and Quantcast and Compete are reasonably useful. And these can give you information on the demographics and the people who actually use those sites, how much traffic those sites get, as well as things like referral traffic. Where did the upstream or referring traffic come from, and where did the downstream traffic go? And it can tell you a lot about the history of the domain. So how long has that domain been around? Is it an established site or an established product or service that's been around for 3 years, or is it some domain that's mainly been registered maybe even a few weeks ago ad hoc for a specific campaign? And if that's the case, then it doesn't tell you how good the offer is, but it can tell you whether it's going to be transient, or it can tell you something about the likely longevity of that offer. So let's actually do some comparisons right now using some of these tools. So I'm going to take a landing page for a random mobile subscription and one for a browser-based game, and we can have a look at these in these various tools. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of these two and take this game. So Wizard 101 has been around for a long time, huge length of time. So I'm going to actually plug that domain in here. And this isn't the browser offer that I'm going to use for comparison's sake, but I just want to show you what some of the data from a site like SimilarWeb might look like. So if we search for that domain in there, what do we see? About 30 million visits over the last month. And you can see here that the traffic is reasonably consistent over the last 6 months or so, and this site has been around for a long time. I'm not sure if this shows you how long the actual site has been around for, but let's go to 24 months. Oh, I can't. There's the upsell. I have to use the pro service if I want to see that, but I believe Wizard 101 has at least been around for 2 years. If we scroll down through this, we can see things like where the traffic came from. So most of it's direct and referrals, but there's a little bit of search, not so much social or email, and quite a lot from display. So from this you can kind of glean that the majority of the advertising has probably been through display. If we go down to geography, most of it is from the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So from this, what I would infer is that the offer itself is in pretty much English only and not really anything else. As for the referring sites, Here you can see click.apptracker.info, so that's most certainly going to be a tracking domain for an ad network or something similar, or an affiliate network. PopMog, that's a gaming portal, which also has an affiliate program. Here you can see some volume related links, so someone has clearly been using volume as a tracking system and pushing a heavy amount of traffic to this offer, so kudos to them. We now know your tracking domain, but we don't know who you are. Ads.ad4game. Ad4game is a gaming-based affiliate network which also does advertising. MMO Traffic is related to IQU, another affiliate network which also works as an ad network and actually manages display inventory for various clients. So you can see there's a lot of information here on where their traffic is actually coming from. Not much search traffic, pretty much all of it is for Wizard 101 directly, so of course they're going to get referral traffic from those keywords because they're not going to have to try very hard to rank for them, given that it is the name of their product. Social, boring, display. So if we look at display here, we can see various things. First of all, the ad networks. The top one's Propeller Ads Media. So go look at Propeller Ads Media later and see what it is about. Is it a pop source? Is it a display source? I don't know. You tell me. Your Ad Exchange, that's one that we saw yesterday when we were looking at some similar web data for ad networks. AdCache, GDN, and so on and so on. Top publishers, so these are the sites where the ads have basically been served. Putlocker is the top one there by a long way. Putlocker is basically, file hoster traffic, so it's kind of like in the category of sites like torrent sites and file host sites, and it's going to be very low quality traffic, but there's going to be plenty of volume there. Watch32.com, there we go, free movies online. Manga Reader. So these have all come from sites where people are digesting or downloading or interacting with content, and they're probably very cheap to serve ads on. So they're either downloading files, watching video clips, or reading manga. And down here you can see watch cartoons online and so on. So we can get a pretty good idea of where the traffic for this actual offer has mainly come from, at least in the last 6 months or so. The rest of that we will ignore. So as for a gaming offer and a mobile content offer, I'm going to use this Tribal Wars 2 offer. It's just a random one that I picked, and I'm going to plug this into here. Now when I search for that, it might fail, and the reason that happened is because I was a bit too precise here in terms of the page that I'm looking for. So I'm going to get rid of that. You don't need to worry about this protocol here. It's not going to make a difference. It's going to get stripped. And if I search for that now, I can see various things. About 60 million visits in the past month. Cool. If I look at this monthly visit chart, I can see the traffic started around September, so only about 4 months ago. So this specific site, or this subdomain of this site, hasn't really been that active for that long. The bounce rate here is huge, so whatever traffic's being sent to that page, which appears to be mainly from display traffic, not much of it is interacting favorably with that page. And what I think from looking at this, seeing that this started about 4 months ago, it's all display traffic, to me this says that either this is a relatively new offer, or this subdomain, this specific domain, had been set up specifically for advertising or for affiliate traffic. So the traffic started when they actually created that, and virtually all the traffic has come from ads. Right, if we scroll down through it, looking at countries, Russia, Poland, Belgium, so the countries that are providing traffic to this offer are coming from pretty much everywhere. And I should so just go back up to those in case you missed them because my face was covering them. There they are. Right, as for referring sites, again, Ad4game, various other sites there. Don't worry so much about the destination sites. Most of them are probably going to their actual other Tribal Wars sites after they register, and so on and so on. Advertising or display advertising traffic, surprisingly, quite a lot from YouTube and Facebook, so maybe this game is being marketed by the advertisers directly through social media. But you can see various other sites in here as well, and a lot of it's being run through ad cache in this instance. Right, and now let's look at this mobile content subscription offer. So a completely different offer to this browser-based game. If we chuck this in here, get rid of all of this junk and just use the subdomain in there. Now we're looking at 35k. So this started about 4 months ago as well, but the amount of traffic going to this is very, very small. So this isn't like take this with a grain of salt. This doesn't measure how much traffic this page has specifically been sent. It can't possibly know that very, very accurately. So again, take this with a grain of salt. But if we look at the stats here, most of it has come from direct traffic, not so much display. It's almost all from South Africa, which you kind of expect because this offer was for South Africa, and you can see a ZA in the subdomain there. Here we have referring sites. There's an affiliate network in there. Not enough data for various other things, but for the display ads, you can see a few sites in here, including cleanfiles.net, which I don't know what this is about. Something about making money on the internet. So apparently it's being advertised on there. And you can see these various ad networks. So my point of this is you should look at these offers and do your due diligence in terms of understanding the sites and the offers and getting an idea of how long they've been around for, and say if they've been around for 3 years, you can be sure that at least the domain itself is credible in terms of not just disappearing overnight. And let's take that same domain and this time get rid of the subdomain and just use brickoffers.com and have a look at that just for the hell of it. You can see that it's been around a bit longer and there's more visits overall to various countries, so mainly the Netherlands, Belgium and South Africa. So whatever this was a mobile content offer, so you can presume they're trying to run mobile content offers in various countries, and they'll have to have different subdomains and things for this because in different countries you have different carrier billing different carrier billing legislation and regulations and things and ways of going about it. So you'll vary the actual site landing pages and so on that you can use. But hopefully from this you can see that you can actually glean a lot and get a lot of information about just random offer pages by using these intelligence tools. So I'll digress and go back to what I was doing. So after doing a bit of research, you can get a short list of candidates that you actually want to run. So take this short list and then look at the offers more closely and look at the terms and conditions of these offers. So various things in there like do you need to get creative approval? So any ads and landing pages that you use, do you need to get a sign off and an okay from your affiliate manager to actually run these? Are you allowed to direct link them, or do you need a lander? Are there certain traffic sources that you're not allowed to actually run these on? If it's a mobile offer, do they want certain carriers only? And if it involves email, you might have a suppression list, which is a list of emails that you're not allowed to send to. Usually this means these people have opted out or unsubscribed from this advertiser. So according to spam legislation and canned spam and things, they really don't want to send emails to these people who have explicitly unsubscribed, because that can get them in a lot of hot water. And there may also be sites that you're not allowed to advertise on. So quite often various advertisers will say no advertising on file sharing and torrent sites for a number of reasons. One, the quality of the traffic is generally pretty terrible, and they might have worries about their brand in terms of getting plastered all over file sharing sites. So then once you have a short list of offers, it's generally a good idea to see if you can get this offer on multiple networks so that you can split test between them. So this isn't ideal for cash flow because you spread your revenue between multiple places, which when you're a newbie with not much capital can be not so ideal. But usually you can quickly determine which networks are actually giving you the highest conversion rates, or not just conversion rates, the highest earnings per click, so the highest profitability, and you can kill off the weaker performers relatively quickly. Now, if you want to find if these offers are on multiple networks, you can use, well, first of all, you can join networks and look. Secondly, you can use tools like OfferVault, ODigger, and OfferBuzz, which are basically offer aggregators. And you can have a look and see whether these offers are available on various networks. So I'll take you to those quickly. And I completely ignored compete.com and Alexa and so on. Let's actually look at this right now. So let's go to wizard101.com and paste these into these sites. So these are other not so competitive intelligence tools. Well, I guess they are, but they provide different types of data. So compete.com is quite expensive, but gives you data on site visits and various things. I think SimilarWeb is a better go-to tool for this kind of thing, mainly because as a free user, compete.com doesn't really give you much. So this is pretty boring, really. Alexa gives you stuff like global rank, how much traffic that they're getting, and more importantly, demographics. So this is something that SimilarWeb didn't really give us, and this is something that Alexa and Quantcast can provide, but take it with a grain of salt. It's not always that accurate, but for Wizard 101, Alexa seems to think that the majority of the audience is female. Gives you some stuff on education, which might not be useful, because if you can't target at the traffic source based on that, that's not really that helpful. And browsing location, where the traffic has come from. So again, from mainly English-speaking countries, which makes sense because the offer is probably completely in English, and various upstream, downstream sites, and so on. And here again is a volume one in here, as well as various affiliate network and ad network related domains. And for compete, couldn't find anything. So let's try this again, but without the protocol in case. Oh, sorry, for Quantcast. There we go, turned up. And from this data, what can we see? Something about amount of people, amount of visits, nothing on demographics and so on. So for some of these, the actual site owner has to become verified, or they actually have to sign up to have their traffic estimated by Quantcast and maybe embed something on their page. So Quantcast perhaps isn't that useful. I really just like SimilarWeb, and I suggest you use that. So onto these offer aggregators. So there's OfferVault, ODigger, and OfferBuzz, which is part of the AFBuzz site. So you can use these to find various offers. So let's put in Wizard 101. You can see here various networks that have that offer. So if you're looking for an offer to split test across networks, and you can only find one or two networks that have it, you can use these sites to find other networks that might have those offers as well. So here, OfferVault shows various networks as well. Anyway, that's all relatively straightforward. I'll let you guys actually do that yourselves. So after looking at this offer, or these offers on various offer aggregators, you can ask yourself a number of questions. Is the offer relatively widespread, or is it confined to a single network? Why is that? Is it exclusive? Is it because it's a very random, obscure advertiser, or is it no one else wants to run it? It could be a number of reasons. Is the payout volatile? So if the payout varies between $1.10 and $6.80, then you know something's going on there. Usually it's a combination of different affiliate networks having different relationships with the advertiser or the client, in terms of their quality history, in terms of the leads that they've generated, and various other things. So the payout might vary between $2 and $3.50, all else being equal, just because of that kind of relationship. And then you get other things like the conversion flow. So it might be a single opt-in, it might be a double opt-in, and that can have a massive effect on the actual payout itself. And always ask, if you have it on multiple networks, talk to each affiliate manager about those offers. Different affiliate managers will have their own agendas and may tell you different things. On one network, they may be told by business development or by whoever their bosses are that they really need to get traffic to this offer, so they might be not coerced, but more inclined to tell you it's a very good offer to run, whereas on another network they might just say it's doing pretty averagely, I wouldn't recommend running it. And of course the conversion flows may change, there's those advertiser relationships. Another thing is brokering, so this is where one network gets the offer from another network. So instead of going from you to the affiliate network to the advertiser, it goes you, affiliate network, another affiliate network, advertiser. And in this sense, affiliate network A is essentially an affiliate for affiliate network B. They just aggregate a lot of traffic themselves. And whenever it's brokered, the payouts are always going to be lower just because you have two parties involved who both want to profit and take a slice out of the margins there. Now, if you do choose an offer and you do want to run it, still split test. So even if you know one network has it direct, whereas two other networks have it brokered, the direct network might be more stingy on payouts, so they might have it at $3.60, whereas the brokered networks might have it at $3.70. And in that situation, you'd be silly not to run them all and actually let the data tell you which one is going to be better in the long run. Again, don't assume, get data. So this is a process, right? It's all about building a strategy for how you actually go about offer selection. So whenever you're doing this process, do your due diligence. For almost every time, don't just take something on faith from your affiliate manager. Don't just assume something's going to work. Actually look at the offer page, test it, look it up on these various platforms. If you're using a competitive intelligence platform, actually look it up on there and utilize that platform to learn a bit about it. And if I demonstrated anything today, it was that you could take a simple domain name from a page and plug it into something like SimilarWeb and immediately infer quite a lot about the history of that domain, or the history of advertising campaigns, where the traffic has come from, where the things are being run, what kind of ad networks are being used. And as time goes on and you become a very experienced marketer, these sorts of packages of data will tell you more and more, and instinctively you can almost tell a lot about an offer just by looking at this data. So don't make assumptions again, test, don't place faith in a single offer or a single AM or a single anything, even a single approach. Always be testing and always be not relying on a single point of failure in your process. So as for resources for this lecture, which is finally coming to an end, which is great because my voice is getting a bit raspy. As you'll probably find out over the 6-week affiliate mastery challenges, I'm reasonably good at talking, and sometimes I get a bit carried away and verbose with that. But for many of you who are more attuned to visual and audio sort of based learning, that might be a benefit, and for you others, you can quite happily fast forward and skip through things, so I don't care either way. Right, so for today's resources, I'm going to release a checklist on offer selection and the steps involved in this, and you can take this and build your own, customize it to suit your needs. Then there'll be some cheat sheets on lists of verticals, offer types, appropriate traffic sources, all that kind of stuff that we've covered in today's video. And as for your tasks for today, I want you to do this. What is this? I want you to actually go onto networks, talk to your AMs, get an offers list, get an offer list, and actually look at the top performing offers and do your due diligence. Actually look at these sites, look at these landing pages, plug them into sites like SimilarWeb and Alexa and various competitive intelligence tools, look on OfferBuzz and so on, and do this as kind of a dry run, as a pilot, much like this pilot training program, just to get yourself into the flow of things and to explore these various platforms so that you can get better at using them in the future. Right, and I think that is the end for today's video. Yes, indeed it is. So I will see you tomorrow in day 4, I believe, when we go over bidding modes and bidding models, amongst other things.